Don't be ashamed of your effort. Midwits hate earnestness and sincere conviction because they can't stand being reminded of the thing they're capable of but resist actually trying. And Mark Manson's got a quote that's similar that says, people will try to put the same limitations on you that they put on themselves. Don't mistake their insecurities for your ceiling. And I think, especially on the internet, especially if you're British, you will know this very well, there is something kind of uncool about being too keen, about being too sort of excitable. It's not exactly in our country's DNA to be super excitable, and being accused of being a keno is not something that many people want, but it really does derogate you, the one thing that you should do, which is effort and paying attention and trying. And that seems to kind of exist on the internet at the moment. A lot of people refusing to go out, a lot of people refusing to try things, the system's rigged against me, etc. And I don't know, man, like, how's that working out for you? Maybe it's working out great or whatever, but if you don't feel like that message speaks to you and you are someone that wants to try and make things happen in the world, when you brush up against that kind of energy, it really should be a reflex to just sort of disregard it, kind of the same way as you disregard somebody that's speaking a different language. And you think, oh, well, they just speak in a different way to me, so that must be fine for them, and I'm sure that works for them, but I kind of don't need that over here. And as far as I can see, sort of motivation and willpower and drive are so rare and fucking tenuous and on a knife edge that you should be very, very careful about how much you allow that to be insulted by stuff from the outer world. And Mark Manson's thing, people will try to put the same limitations on you that they put on themselves. Don't mistake their insecurities for your ceiling, is lovely. Something else that I've seen, which is happened to a bunch of people around me recently, is a very real sign of success. How you can know when you fully made it, which is people start to accuse you of having wealthy parents. That the real sign of success is when someone says, I bet you had wealthy parents. And I've kind of wondered where that's satirical for the people on Instagram that didn't get that was satirical. I wasn't saying that it was an actual marker of success. I was saying that it is the sort of thing that appears to come along for the ride as a side order when you achieve something that some people would say of as being success. And I don't know, I've tried to work out where this motivation comes from. I wonder whether it's that if somebody has achieved something that other people are envious of or would desire in one way or another, and if they're not that different than they were, the reason that the other person observing them hasn't achieved the same thing is put more on them. It's more to do with their efforts, their agency, the way that they've shown up in life. But if it's because of an unfair head start that person had because they had wealthy parents, you don't need to do the same level of self-reflection to work out why you're not necessarily in the same place. Another lesson from Tim Ferriss this year. Wow, that Stray Vista video wall shoot thing that we did in March around about Easter time was fucking fire. And he had this great insight, which was don't aim for mediocre. 99% of people in the world are convinced that they're incapable of achieving great things, so they aim for the mediocre. The level of competition is thus fiercest for realistic goals, paradoxically making them the most time and energy consuming. If you are insecure, guess what? The rest of the world is too. Do not overestimate the competition and underestimate yourself. You are better than you think. I love that. Do not overestimate the competition and underestimate yourself. I think if you're the sort of person who is regularly surprised by how well things go, that's maybe a good indication that could be about you. And basically, I think I'm certain that most capable people don't believe in themselves enough. And a lack of confidence killed more dreams than a lack of competence ever did. Self-doubt often seems to sort of be bundled into a package deal alongside potential. And I'm not too sure why. It might be that capable people are paralyzed by high expectations, or that competence is correlated somehow with rumination and an introspective mind, or maybe the greater your capacity, the less accurately you can see your true potential. And as the end goal is simply much further away, it's harder for you to work out. I'm unsure on the cause, but I'm pretty certain on the symptom. More people are held back by their self-belief than are propelled by it. You can kind of think of confidence as a speed limiter that's on your system. You have capacity for more, but your self-doubt limits your ability to chase it. And it causes you to avoid taking risks, which means that you move more slowly than your competition. And it encourages you to criticize your performance, even when you do well, which derogates your motivation. And it makes you compare yourself to other people's achievements, making you feel inferior by comparison. Basically, your mind is not helping you here. Placing insatiable demands on your performance doesn't drive more. It doesn't help you to get there. It just makes you despondent at never feeling satisfied, even with a job well done. And George Mack, who has been on the show 8 times, I think, maybe more, he said, there is a guy out there with half your talent, but 10 times your self-belief, making 5 times the money. There is a guy out there with half your talent, but 10 times your self-belief, making 5 times the money. And it's so true. People that just swing for the fences. And I don't mean to stick a middle finger up or castigate the self-doubting, competent person that sort of quietly cracks on in the corner. This is really me trying to give a bit of hope that, again, if you are regularly surprised by how well things go, something's up, right? You're not seeing your capacity in the world accurately. What if things were going to go better than you assumed? What if things weren't always going to be a catastrophe? What if you didn't need to grip and concern and worry and cloy and be desperate and needy? What if you didn't need to do that? What if it was going to go well because you're talented and fundamentally the world ends up giving people what they deserve over a long enough time horizon? And the confidence thing, the speed limiter on the system is a big deal. And you should view it like an enemy. You should view it like something that is fighting against you to stop you from achieving the things that you want. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that clip, you will love the full-length podcast in all its glory, which is available right here. Go on, press it.